shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
We have another gorgeous day in our forecast. Temperatures this afternoon will be in the 70s, but we do have some heat in our forecast. I'll show you when.
Well, debut spoiled. Bill Belichick's first game on the UNC sidelines ends with a big loss. Reaction this morning after the Tar Heels were taken down by TCU. Plus, new semester, new questions. St. Augustine's University starts the fall semester today under a cloud of uncertainty. How the school's future looks as the year gets started. Thanks so much for waking up this morning on this Tuesday on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood. Another beautiful day walking out. Could have worn a jacket there, Elizabeth. Chose not to. I wanted that cool fall-like brisk on my face.
Yeah, it feels good out there, doesn't it? I did come in a jacket, and maybe it was a little bit of overkill. We take a live look at downtown Raleigh right now. It is 58, and our dew point is 56, so that's cool. I think, if you have to spend much time outside, kids at the bus stop, that sort of thing, especially if they're in their shorts and T-shirts, they're going to be more comfortable wearing a jacket for sure. It's 50 degrees in Roxborough. We tend to see the coldest temperature a little bit closer to 7, so easily that could be that we drop into the 40s in Roxborough this morning. 59 Rocky Mount, 60 in Southern Pines, 60 Fayetteville, 62 in Clinton. So a little bit warmer down to the south. Overall, temperatures are 2 to 3 degrees warmer than they were this time yesterday. But the afternoon looks phenomenal. At lunchtime, 72. High temperatures in the upper 70s. Our humidity remains low. But we do move back into a hotter pattern toward the end of the week. I'll show you that coming up.
All right, sounds good, Elizabeth. Thank you. This morning, a car crashed and flipped just inches away from train tracks in Cary. In fact, the WRAL breaking news tracker captured this video here at Trinity Road and East Chatham Street. This was around 2 o'clock this morning. Officers blocked off that area while they inspected the damaged cars and the tracks. And we have reached out to Cary police to find out what caused the crash and whether anyone was hurt. Well, this morning, UNC football coach Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels are looking to recover. The team lost last night to TCU 48-14 in the season opener at home. 48-14. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar is live now in Chapel Hill as Ali, fans are kind of reacting to that disappointing loss.
Yes, fans came down here to Franklin Street to cope with that loss. The start of the Bill Belichick era, it wasn't what they hoped for. UNC did lead, they scored first, leading 7-0 in the first quarter. It was downhill from there. TCU scored 41 points before UNC scored a final touchdown in the third quarter. TCU took home that win 48-14. We heard from Bill Belichick after the game. He says they need to work harder and work together. Fans are hopeful the season will get better.
Just have to perform better as a unit, coach better, play better, work better on our fundamentals. There's no shortcut to it. We just got to work harder and do a better job.
Not what we expected, honestly, but I have faith in the program. I think it takes time to develop, so, I just give it time, I'd say.
Now, UNC takes on UNC in Charlotte this weekend. In the next 10 minutes, we're going to hear from WRAL sports team Pat Welter and Chris Lee about the breakdown of the game and what's next for the Tar Heels. Reporting in Chapel Hill, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
And just a reminder, you can get more of our team coverage of Coach Belichick's debut on WRAL.com. Pat Welter and Chris Lee shared their game analysis. Plus, we have more fan reactions and Belichick's post-game press conference. Today, a Raleigh man accused of secretly recording someone in a store bathroom is expected in court. Jeremy Rollo is facing a felony charge of secret peeping. According to court documents, he used his phone to secretly record someone using the bathroom at the Best Buy on Capitol Boulevard. The website of the Durham Chiropractic Injury Center lists Rollo as a chiropractor there. Police in Wilson's Mills are investigating human remains found there, and a group of kids found them. Police were called around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Those kids said they found the remains behind the Wilson's Mills Association Cemetery on Fire Department Road. Officers say they are waiting on the state's medical examiner to determine the cause of death. Today, fall classes begin for students at St. Augustine's University in Raleigh, and this is happening just days after the school's interim president resigned. Let's go ahead and bring in WRAL's Flynn Snyder. He's live at St. Augustine's University. Flynn, we've tried asking the HBCU how many students are currently enrolled, but they haven't responded to our question about that.
And Chris, the latest data we do have from the university shows that enrollment here has dipped to as low as 200 students in the previous academic year. Of course, as you mentioned, this all comes as the university announced that Dr. Marcus Burgess has stepped down as interim president. He submitted his resignation letter in July, with the move not being made public until Sunday. A member of a group working to save St. Augustine's worries the resignation could jeopardize the school's accreditation.
In order to continue to have accreditation, you do have to have an interim, an acting president. And right now, with his resigning, we don't have an interim president.
The university's interim provost and vice president of academic affairs, Dr. Virginis Peoples, will take over the president's administrative responsibilities. It's the latest issue facing the troubled university while dealing with millions of dollars in debts and numerous lawsuits. According to the university, Dr. Burgess cited personal reasons for stepping down. Flint Sider, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Hey, just a reminder, be sure to check your Powerball tickets. Someone in North Carolina is holding one ticket worth $2 million this morning. That winning ticket matched all 5 white balls, but not the Powerball. Super close. The numbers were 8, 23, 25, 40, and 53, and the Powerball was 5. No one won the jackpot, so it's now rising to $1.3 billion, which is, again, still the 5th largest jackpot in Powerball history. The lump sum cash value of winning that is $589 million. The next drawing is tomorrow night, which, yes, you can watch right here on WRAL right before our 11 p.m. newscast. Today, Durham City Council members are expected to discuss the city's second quarter crime report. According to the city's first quarter report from January to June, there have been 270 shootings compared to 349 that time last year. That's almost a 23% decrease. The number of fatal and non-fatal shootings also decreased by just over 33%. And today's city council meeting is at 7 p.m. Today, we're expecting an update on what the Wake County School Board wants to do with settlement funds from makers of vaping products. Last year, you may recall, the school district settled lawsuits with companies Juul and Altria over teen vaping. Now, in total, Wake County schools received more than $8 million. The school system said it would put the money toward efforts to reduce nicotine use and educate students about the dangers. Tonight's meeting starts at 5:30 p.m. More than 80 continuous miles of the Blue Ridge Parkway are now open as we near the 1-year mark since Helene. The latest reopening came near Devil's Courthouse, west of Asheville. Long sections of the highway are still closed because of storm damage. The National Park Service says Helene caused dozens of landslides and a lot of damage, too. Meanwhile, teams are celebrating a major milestone in western North Carolina, Helene recovery. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says more than 1 million cubic yards of debris have been cleared from Lake Lure alone. In total, more than 6.4 million cubic yards of debris have been removed from waterways in the mountains following Helene. Got to take you to an update overseas. Rescuers are searching frantically for any survivors of that 6.0 magnitude earthquake that rocked Afghanistan. We're talking about at least 900 people who were killed late Sunday in eastern Afghanistan. The number of people who've died is expected to go up. At least 3,000 people were injured. The Taliban government says first responders are struggling to reach the hardest hit areas in the remote region. Widespread debris is blocking roads, and already fragile homes are beginning to collapse. Authorities there are asking for help from the international community. Meanwhile, here stateside, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the department plans to expand ICE into other cities, major ones, in fact. The announcement happened after Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson threatened legal action, and that was aimed against any surge of federal law enforcement or National Guard troops in the city. He also signed an executive order over the weekend. It directed his city's legal department to explore ways to counter those surges. This month, the Trump administration directed federal officers and ICE employees to help police in D.C. to reduce crime. In Durham, a half-dozen organizations actually gathered as part of the nationwide Workers Over Billionaires protest. That event was intended to draw attention to how union members and other working-class people would fare under President Trump's policies. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees saw their union protections disappear last month because of President Trump's executive orders. A White House spokesperson did not address the protests, but in a statement, the White House said no one has done more for working men and women than President Trump. Your time is 4:39. Just ahead, a gift for a veteran. How people gave back to a Western North Carolina man to help him stay in his home for years to come. Plus, cleaning up. Buxton volunteers came together to tidy up after Hurricane Aaron. A look at their work. And another morning where it feels like autumn, as we're giving you a live look at Goldsboro this morning. Coming up, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains the days this week that we may reach 90 degrees.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
442, taking a look at clear skies this morning. So we do have the top of the tower here in our backyard lit in blue, and the muggy meter feels very comfortable. It's a gorgeous start this morning, 56 degrees. So carrying over from yesterday and Sunday, that nice cool air has moved in and is here for a little bit, but not the entire week. 58 in Durham right now, 50 in Roxborough, 59 in Garner and Rocky Mount, and it's 57 in Cary. So it feels great out there this morning. Runners rejoice. It feels fabulous with these nice cool temperatures and low humidity. Lunchtime 74. And even if you want to get out and exercise this evening, it's going to feel great too. This afternoon's highs are still in the upper 70s, but we do have one 90-degree day in the forecast. I'll show you why the pattern is turning hotter coming up.
Long way, Elizabeth.
Yes.
In Orange County, the town of Carrboro will start repaving work this week. Starting tomorrow, crews will repave Robertson Street. A new sidewalk was recently put in along the south side of that street, and it connects the Drakeford Library complex to the Sweet Bay Place sidewalk. Franklin County is looking for someone to build a new EMS station on US 1 in Franklinton. In fact, the plan is to put an EMS station and senior center there. The county is taking proposal from contractors until September 25th. And then after that, county commissioners will decide who gets that project. Today, you can share your thoughts on the future of transportation in Johnston County. The Board of County Commissioners is holding a public hearing to get community feedback on its long-term comprehensive plan. We're talking about roughly 170 miles of new or improved roadways that are recommended in the plan over the next 25 to maybe 30 years. It also recommends more than 80 miles of bike and pedestrian facilities. The meeting is tonight at 6, and that is at the Johnston County Courthouse in Smithfield. This week, the state DOT is looking to hire more people to work at the DMV. Hiring managers are looking to fill positions including driver license examiners. The state is trying to hire nearly 100 examiners, and the goal is to help reduce wait times at the DMV. The career fair is happening tomorrow and Thursday at the Raleigh Convention Center. Just a heads up, if you use Gmail, you should probably change your password. Google is urging users to do that because of a data breach that exposed their information. The company says changing passwords is the best way to limit any risks. It also recommends you tighten up other security, like using two-factor authentication. It does not take long to set that up. About 2.5 billion people use Gmail. A community came together to clean up after Hurricane Aaron. The Buxton Civic Association says nearly 200 people came out to clean the old Lighthouse Road area this weekend. Volunteers picked up wood planks and trash that was littering the beach and roadways. The Civic Association says they were able to complete the work in just about 3 hours. A Vietnam War veteran from Western North Carolina is closer to returning home. Talking about Nate Stanley, he introduces us to a veteran and the team of people that are helping this person.
I says, "What's a frogman?" And he said, "Well, they parachute and scuba dive and blow stuff up and do a lot of shooting and stuff." I says, "I want to be a frogman."
David Hostetter's commitment to service is palpable.
I was the only volunteer that would volunteer. Everybody was told, don't volunteer for anything. You know, we don't have any fun if you don't volunteer.
The 80-year-old served 3 times in Vietnam.
But then during Vietnam, my second tour, I was stabbed and died on the operating table. Had a great out-of-body experience.
Now he faces another life hurdle. Hurricane Helene's flooding ruined his home.
Everything just floated, you know.
And washed away his driveway.
Looked at it a little bit and I figured I'm going to try to get by here. So I put my wheel in the ditch on the right and went past it.
David, who was once a selfless volunteer in Vietnam, is now the recipient of that same volunteer spirit as crews from around Western North Carolina are here repairing his road.
We got to bench back up and bring fill dirt and gravel and rock back in to build that whole side of the mountain back.
Rodney Cole with the Paying It Forward Network is now working with other volunteers.
Helene Rising, which is Jacob. Jacob reached out to Appalachian United Initiative and Bat Cave Disaster Relief, and we all came together.
And I can't explain how grateful I am. I just don't have words for it. But I'm grateful.
Did you hear that? He was stabbed and then died on the operating table and had an out-of-body experience. Wow. The 80-year-old was living in a cabin, and he plans to demolish his home and build a new one on the property. All right, so your family's last beach trip of the summer may have been riskier than you realize. New data shows more bacteria is washing onto North Carolina beaches, and scientists say the problem is likely to get worse. 5 North Carolina beaches were under advisories heading into Labor Day because of elevated levels of fecal bacteria. Warmer water speeds up bacterial growth, and then rising seas are flooding septic systems and sewer lines, even on sunny days.
They built infrastructure like roads and houses and buildings for sea levels that were a lot lower than they are today. So what's happening today is that normal high tides, that monthly high tide that happens because of the way the moon and the sun are moving in space, is causing flooding on roads, and that didn't used to happen.
Heavy rain and hurricanes intensified by climate change are also washing contaminants into coastal waters. According to Environment America, more than half of North Carolina's tested beaches had potentially unsafe bacteria levels last year. Doctors say fall is the perfect time to tidy up if you have allergies. Remember to frequently wash your bedding and consider using dust mite covers as an extra layer. Change your filters before turning on the heat. And cleaning mold in the home can go a long way when it comes to easing allergy symptoms.
I ask families to focus on their kitchens, their bathrooms, their basements, anywhere that there can be standing water, because those areas can actually harbor mold.
Yeah, we just did a deep clean there as well to make sure Jordy is nice and safe. It's also a good idea to see an allergist to help identify exactly what you're allergic to and explore more treatment options. I tell you what, though, if you're going to clean up, like this is one of those times where it's colder out. Open up the windows, let some fresh air in, Elizabeth. But you keep talking about this near 90 degrees. We're going the opposite way.
I know. So we're going to talk about when we tend to see the last 90-degree day of the year. And it's actually not too far in the future. We take a live look at downtown Raleigh right now. Skies are mainly clear, very comfortable, 58 degrees with a dew point of 56. So it feels great out there this morning. You may want to send the kids out with a light jacket or just a long sleeve shirt because if they have to be at the bus stop for a while, especially up in Roxborough where it's 50 right now, and could dip into the 40s. Fayetteville and Southern Pines at 60, 62 in Clinton, 58 right now. In Goldsboro, around the Triangle, it's 58 in Raleigh, 59 in Knightdale, 58 in Apex and in Holly Springs. So mostly looking at upper 50s. Our normal low temperature is 67. So these temperatures are well below normal, and we'll see that again tomorrow. But then after that, as we get closer to the weekend, notice those temperatures are much warmer, back into the upper 60s, which is near normal. This afternoon, we're well below normal, 79 in Raleigh, 78 in Durham, and 83 in Fayetteville. And what is happening? Why are we going to see so much warmer temperatures? The front that looked like it was going to maybe sweep through here, looking like it may be farther to the west, that'll actually allow us to warm up more as the bulk of the cool air stays north and west of us. So our normal high is 86, today 79, 82 Wednesday, and then we do have that one 90-degree day there on Saturday. We only had one 90-degree day in August. The average last 90-degree of the year is September 12th. That's only 10 days from now. And right now, there's only one in the forecast. But of course, it's on the weekend when a lot of folks are headed out to football games. Duke, North Carolina, and UNC all play at home. 89 at noon, 91 there at NC State, 88 there in Chapel Hill. Now, we do have below average temperatures coming the next 6 to 10 days. So once we get past the weekend, it does look like we should cool off a little bit. As a matter of fact, you see that 90 on Saturday. We're back down to 83 on Sunday. Hey, we'll take it.
We'll take it. Thanks, Elizabeth. Your time is 4:51. Breaking her own record, Taylor Swift made Spotify history. How her album is topping charts before it's even out. Plus, bringing joy with art. How this Arizona artist is giving back in a unique way. Taylor Swift is breaking her own records. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Taylor Swift has broken yet another record, this time one of her own. Spotify says Swift's upcoming album, The Life of a Showgirl, has the most pre-saved album countdown page in the streaming service's history. Less than 3 weeks after she announced the album, and more than a month before its release date, October 3rd. The record had been held by Swift's 2024 album, The Tortured Poets Department.
Along its nearly 1,500-mile journey, the Colorado connects the Rocky Mountains to the Gulf of California and nurtures landscapes that are bursting with wildlife.
The American Southwest chronicles the natural history of that region, how the Colorado River sustains both society and the natural world, and the need to manage it for both to continue to thrive. The documentary, narrated by Indigenous actress and activist Quanah Chasinghorse, opens in theaters Friday. Locations and showtimes at theamericansouthwest.film. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
In Arizona, an artist in Arizona is using her talent to give back in a unique way. 85-year-old Betsy Vincent donated more than 1,000 original paintings to a homeless shelter. Every person there gets to take a painting with them when they move into permanent housing. And that shelter has served 159 people. Get this, so far, 43 people have taken paintings into a new home. They look awesome, too. When the NFL regular season gets started Thursday night, there will be a record number of black starting quarterbacks. 16 are scheduled to start their team's season openers, and that's half the league. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts made history in Super Bowl 59 in 2023, and that was the first time two black quarterbacks started the game. They faced off again in February in Super Bowl 59. Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles will host the Dallas Cowboys in the season opener Thursday night, and you can watch that right here on WRAL. Time is 4:56. Sanford is buzzing. 4 new bee statues are going on display. The art is meant to represent Sanford's status as a Bee City, USA, and those sculptures are available to be sponsored. And at 5, campus questions. Fall classes kick off today at St. Augustine's University, just days after the interim president resigned. The direction the school is headed into the fall. Plus, called a tough night. UNC's season opener didn't quite go as planned. Reaction from Bill Belichick after his debut with the Tar Heels. Plus, the effects of paying later. People are choosing the buy now, pay later option at checkout more than ever before. Five on Your Side breaks down the new data being collected on these kinds of users.